To the ends of the earth, a love unbound. Alice's heart thudded in her chest as she felt the heat of Lillian's breath on her cheek. She had never felt this way before. She had kissed boys, sure, but it was always something forced, something she had done because it was what everyone expected. This was different. This was like coming home after a long journey through a cold, dark forest. Her eyes searched Lillian's, looking for something she didn't even know she was looking for. But she found it. The love, the care, the friendship that had always been there was now mixed with something more potent, something fiercer, something that made her feel alive in a way she had never felt before. But what about society? Alice whispered, breaking the silence that had fallen upon them like a warm blanket. To hell with society, Lillian murmured back, her eyes never leaving Alice's. We can be happy together. Alice bit her lip, considering her friend's words. She knew that Lillian was right. They could be happy together, but at what cost? Her family's reputation? Her future? What will we do? Alice asked, her voice trembling slightly. Lillian took a deep breath and pulled away, though she didn't let go of Alice's hand. We'll leave, she said firmly. We'll leave this place and all the expectations behind. Alice felt a spark of hope ignite in her chest, but it was quickly extinguished by reality. And go where? She said, her voice laced with doubt. Lillian took her time in answering, her gaze drifting to the window where the moon cast a silver glow. Over the garden. Anywhere, she said finally. Anywhere but here. Alice knew what Lillian was suggesting was crazy, but she couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement at the thought of running away with her. Just the two of them, free from the constraints of their lives. But was it possible? Could they really just leave everything behind? We can't, Alice said, her voice barely above a whisper. My family would never allow it. Lillian's grip tightened around her hand, a silent promise that she would not let go, that she would fight for them. We'll figure it out, she assured her. Together. And with that, the two of them stood there, in the quiet of the night, holding on to each other and onto the promise of a future that was theirs alone. A future filled with love and freedom, no matter what the cost. The door to Alice's chamber creaked open and the cold air of reality swept in. Lillian's eyes widened with fear as she realized the gravity of their situation. If they were caught, their lives would be over. But Alice didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned into the warmth of Lillian's embrace, feeling a strength she never knew she had. We'll tell them tomorrow, Alice said, her voice firm. We'll tell them the truth. Lillian searched her eyes, looking for any signs of doubt, but Alice's resolve was unshakable. They had always been brave together, facing the world as one. This was just another challenge they would conquer side by side. We can't, Lillian said, her voice low and urgent. You know what they'll do to us. To your family. Alice nodded, understanding the gravity of their decision. But she also knew that she couldn't live a lie anymore. She had to be true to herself, even if it meant facing the wrath of the ton. Then we'll leave tonight, Alice decided. Before the ball. We'll find a way to be together, no matter what. Their eyes met again, and in that moment the fear and doubt melted away. They had each other, and that was all that mattered. They quickly gathered their things, their hearts racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. As they descended the stairs, the sound of laughter and music from the ballroom below grew louder. Alice took one last look over her shoulder, knowing she was leaving behind the only life she had ever known. The cool night air hit them as they stepped out into the garden, the moon casting long shadows on the path ahead. They held each other tightly, whispering plans and dreams into the night as they made their way to the stables. The horses whinnied in greeting as they approached, sensing the urgency in their touch. They saddled up and mounted, their hearts beating in sync with the rhythm of the hooves against the ground. As they rode away from the estate, the world opened up before them like a vast, uncharted sea. They had no map, no destination, just the love that guided them through the darkness. The sound of the party grew faint, the laughter and music fading into the night like the echoes of a distant memory. They were free, and together, they would chart their own course through the tumultuous waters of life. Alice turned to Lillian, the wind whipping through her hair like flames. "To the ends of the earth," she whispered, her eyes shining with determination. Lillian smiled back, her heart swelling with love and hope. "And beyond," she said, and together they spurred their horses onward into the unknown. The night was vast and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the distant sound of an owl hooting. The moon, their solitary beacon, cast a silver path before them as they rode through the countryside. The cool breeze whipped at their faces, carrying with it the sweet taste of freedom. Alice felt the weight of her corset loosen and her heart swell with every mile they put between themselves and the suffocating confines of high society. The gold gown she had been so proud of now felt like a prison she had escaped from, and she couldn't help but revel in the feeling of the wind on her bare skin as she held onto Lillian tightly. They rode until the first light of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and orange, finally stopping at the edge of a dense forest. The trees loomed tall and mysterious, a stark contrast to the manicured lawns and sculpted hedges they had left behind. "What now?" Alice asked, her voice a mix of excitement and apprehension. Lillian dismounted and offered her a hand down, her eyes filled with a fierce determination. "Now we live," she said, and together they ventured into the woods, hand in hand, ready to face whatever the world threw at them. Their journey was not an easy one. They faced hunger, exhaustion, and the occasional bandit. But every time they encountered danger, their love for each other grew stronger, acting as a shield that protected them from the harsh realities of the world outside. As they traveled deeper into the countryside, they stumbled upon a small village where they found refuge. The villagers were kind, accepting them without question or judgment, and they found work tending to the livestock and helping in the fields. Alice learned the value of hard work and the satisfaction of a job well done, her hands growing calloused but her spirit growing more resilient with every sunrise. Lillian, ever the caretaker, used her knowledge of healing herbs to aid the villagers, gaining their trust and affection. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, and slowly the two of them built a life together. They were no longer Lady Alice and Miss Lillian, but simply Alice and Lillian, two souls intertwined by love and adventure. But the whispers of their pasts never truly disappeared. Every now and then, a traveler would pass through the village with tales of scandal and ruined reputations, and Alice would hold Lillian closer, thankful for the anonymity their new life provided. One evening, as they sat by the fire in the cottage they now called home, Lillian took a deep breath and spoke the words that had been weighing on her heart. "Alice, I know you gave up everything for us to be together, but I fear one day your family will find us. What then?" Alice looked into her eyes, her own filled with a quiet resolve. "When that day comes, we will face it together. Until then, let's just cherish what we have and keep running towards our future, hand in hand, heart to heart, until we reach the horizon of our dreams." And with that, they leaned in and kissed, the warmth of their love burning brighter than any fire could ever hope to match, as they continued to live their lives in the quiet rebellion of happiness and truth.